This market is wild. And no, it ain't no joke. We've got an XRP emergency on our hands. Trump's tariffs are shaking up global markets, and Coinbase just dropped some shocking XRP-related earnings data. Oh, and Raoul Pal? He says everything is still going exactly according to plan. Welcome back, beautiful people. Shalom, moneymakers. You're watching Crypto Labs News, and today's market action feels like a roller coaster with no seat belts. Let's dive right in. Right now, XRP is sitting at $2.93, down about 3% on the day. Yes, XRP broke that psychological $3 mark and dipped all the way to $2.89 earlier before bouncing back slightly. Bitcoin also took a tumble, falling to $114,122, which interestingly filled a major gap. That's right, we've talked about these gaps before. They tend to close, and this one just did. Now we still have the $92,000 Bitcoin gap hanging in the air. That one's a bit more concerning. But the good news? This recently filled gap was a weekday gap from Tuesday to Wednesday, not a weekend one, which often behaved differently. So that pressure's now off the table. The gap's filled, we can move forward, but the pain in the market isn't limited to crypto. The stock market is bleeding too. Pre-market action showed a 12% spike in the VIX, the fear index. Amazon's down 8%, Robinhood down 5%, Palantir down 2.5%, and we're just getting started. When stocks dump, crypto usually follows, and that's exactly what we're seeing with XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin all taking hits to So what's behind this market-wide chaos? Two words: trade wars. President Trump just turned up the heat, announcing a surprise tariff hike on Canada from 25% to 35%. That's not all. Reciprocal tariffs have now been imposed on Switzerland, 39%, South Africa, 30%, Taiwan, 20%, and a bunch of Southeast Asian countries including Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia. These tariffs officially go live at midnight Eastern, August 1 ST. The result? Market uncertainty everywhere. Even though the S&P futures are down just 10 points, thanks to weak Amazon earnings, the undertone is fear. But it's not full-blown panic like we saw earlier this year in February and March. If these tariffs had been announced back then, we'd probably be down double digits. Still, back-to-back red days can lead to a bigger correction. Don't forget, when markets hit all-time highs, pullbacks are normal. It's how markets breathe. Let's swing back to XRP for a moment. From the recent high, XRP has pulled back roughly 20% over the past 2 weeks. That's a steep drop, but again, it comes after a massive run-up. This volatility is part of the game. If you've been with Crypto Labs News for a while, you already know we anticipate these swings. Now, some people are confused. They ask, why is XRP dumping even though the SEC chair is backing crypto and America is supposedly trying to become the crypto capital of the world? Great question. The answer: short-term fear almost always trumps long-term optimism. Markets move based on sentiment. If fear is high, good news won't always cause immediate gains. It's not about what's true, it's about how people feel. Bullish people buy, fearful people sell. That's why you see red candles even when headlines look positive. So here's the real question: are you feeling bullish or bearish? Confident or uncertain? Here's a hard truth we've learned at Crypto Labs News. The best investors often move against emotion. When you feel euphoria, it's probably near the top. When you feel despair, it might be close to the bottom. But fighting human nature isn't easy. Those who master it, they're the ones who make the biggest gains. Let's take a step back. No one, not even us here at Crypto Labs News, can predict the future. We can analyze, we can prepare, but we're not prophets. We've seen market cycles play out smoothly before, and other times they completely defy the pattern. Even Raoul Pal says this correction is part of the larger script. He made an interesting point, and I quote, "Weirdly, the higher interest rates stay, the more liquidity they have to inject to finance debt. That pushes assets higher. It's the everything code." When asked whether we're already in phase 2 of the banana correction, Raoul said, "Not yet." So if you thought $114,000 was the Bitcoin top, think again. We may still see more upside or more volatility. Speaking of volatility, Friday is looking freaky. We've got Bitcoin ETF options expiring, and possibly Ethereum's too. Combine that with high leverage, all-time high levels, and bearish momentum? That's a setup for some serious market swings. Now back to XRP again, this time with some eye-opening data from Coinbase. According to Coinbase Q2 earnings report, XRP accounted for a higher percentage of trading revenue than even Ethereum or Solana. Bitcoin was number one, of course, but XRP? It took the second spot. That's huge. This was for activity through June 30th, which doesn't even reflect XRP's July explosion. So when we see the Q3 numbers, the battle for second place will likely be XRP versus Ethereum. Both had strong performance in July, and we still have August and September to go. Now on to technicals. The stochastic RSI across major coins is showing bottom signals. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and especially XRP have all gone from overbought to oversold. XRP in particular spent a long time at the top of the RSI before dropping hard. If patterns repeat, this bottom could mark the start of another climb. But here's the caveat: we could still dip further. XRP might fall to $2.72 or even $2.26. That's possible. That's how markets behave. Futures data shows no obvious gaps that need to close, although there's a small one around $2.57 that might magnetize the price downward. So ask yourself this: are you waiting to buy below $3? Or are you sitting on your hands? At CryptoNews, we never tell you to buy, sell, or hold. That's your call. But we help you think through your options. This might be the low, or we might see more blood before the bounce. Nobody knows. For sure. Not Trump, not the Fed, not even the whales. And speaking of Ripple, let's talk tokenization. Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road could give them major traction in clearing tokenized trades on the XRP ledger, XRPL. With Wall Street and Silicon Valley companies literally lining up to tokenize their assets, according to SEC Chair Paul Atkins, this could be huge in the long term for XRP's utility and adoption that we've seen before. XRP tends to follow technical patterns and reacts sharply to liquidity injections. Whether it's from fundamentals, regulation clarity, or technical breakouts, XRP moves fast. And right now, we're in a painful yet powerful phase of the cycle. So zoom out. This is part of the journey. We've been here before. When we were at local highs, people were euphoric. When we dropped, people panicked. The key is perspective. Here at CryptoNews, we always try to stay rational, cautious, and grounded. We've learned from wins, and we've learned from mistakes. Nobody in this game is perfect. We all get caught sometimes. What matters is how we respond and how we learn. So if you've made it this far, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the links in the description below. Some of those are affiliate links, so thank you if you use them. If you want to support the channel even more, there's also the membership option or a super thanks. Thanks for watching CryptoNews, and like I always say, let's make a lot of money.